to the Wednesday edition of Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath and again joined by Ian Lenton. Afternoon, Ian.
Yeah, afternoon, Adam. Good to be here once again.
Looking forward to this Belmont card. I found it a very hard day to find some best bets in very competitive fields.
Yeah, there's nothing overly short across the card, which means there's good value. But looking at your tips earlier, it appears we're mostly on the same page, so that maybe is a good sign for punters.
A cutaway in the straight as well, so every horse is going to have their opportunity late at Belmont Park. Let's take a look at the conditions that we will be faced with on Wednesday at Belmont Park, and it is cloudy, 20 degrees with east to northeasterly winds, a good 3, and the rail, as we said, out 15 metres with that cutaway in the straight. Race number 1, it is over the 1,000 metres. It's scheduled to commence at 12:40. Some solid trial form coming into this race, but the horse that I'm really intrigued about is Rhino Buster for David Harrison. William Pike to ride, and the last time we saw this horse trial was back in January.
Yeah, super impressive trial all the way back there, just behind Military Rain, who certainly has ability, and well back in third in that race was Ros Martini. Impressive trial.
We have seen what Ros Martini has done recently as well at Belmont Park, so let's take a look at that trial now.
And over on the outside, Military Rain is putting it to Ros Martini. They're clear of Rhino Buster, who's a clear-cut third, and the gap back then to Major Detail, Chantilly Lace and Nishi's Lab, but down the straight, taking the lead and pulling away now is Military Rain. Leads the way in the last 150. Getting through is Rhino Buster, back to the inside, saves ground. Rhino Buster's coming. Military Rain in front. Rhino Buster getting to it. Military Rain doing enough, and Military Rain wins. Second, Rhino Buster. Third, past the...
Yeah, great performance there by Rhino Buster, and I think you have to look at this just from afar and say William Pike on no trial leading into this, aside from that one well back in January. So you'd like to think that Rhino Buster is all wound up for this.
Yeah, we'll be watching what David Harrison does in this race. A horse that I thought trialled really well, and the blinkers are on here as well. They were in the trolleys. Jusha Zazitsky, we'll get that out probably for Simon Miller. Peter Nucky to ride. The wide draw I do not think is an issue.
No, I think they'll probably try and get to the front on this galloper, and I think once it gets there, it'll be very hard to run down. But this is what makes this race so interesting, is we have about 8 runners or 7 runners in this race that are having their first start. So although their trial form looks good, we really don't know too much about their race form.
Another horse which will be having its first start is Source of Survival. The blinkers go on here. Neville Parnham trained, Stephen Parnham to ride, and I thought the trials were quite solid as well.
Yeah, the 2 previous ahead of Delicate Miss and also behind Black Cuban were very impressive. The last trial wasn't as impressive. It was hard ridden, but there was no blinkers in that trial. And as you mentioned, they're on for its race debut here.
And number 10, It's Dynamite. Again, a really good trial over the 400 metres, won by 3.5 lengths. You have to take note again that Paul Harvey is going to ride. My only concern is that we haven't seen it stretch out over that 1,000 metres.
Yeah, look, it was withdrawn from its race debut, starting at about $8 in the betting. Its first trial was in Kalgoorlie, so it didn't really warrant a short quote coming into that. But with Paul Harvey on board, Lindsay Smith, that's a good combination.
Let's take a look at selections then for race number 1, and I'm going to be tipping number 6, Rhino Buster, from numbers 2, 10 and 8.
On number 2, Dusha Zazitsky. From number 6, Rhino Buster. 10, It's Dynamite. And number 8, Source of Survival.
Race number 2 at Belmont Park. It is Perth. Race number 4 for our Singapore viewers. It is the Gold Membership Handicap over the 2,100 metres. And a few horses coming from the Belmont Classic racing against the older horses as well.
Yeah, this is a great race. We have the Adam Durant duo in O'Reilly's Crumpet that was outstanding at Northam, facing Falcon Crest, who was excellent in the Belmont Classic. And Joe Azzopardi has gone with O'Reilly's Crumpet. Now, I don't know whether that was his choice or a stable choice, but either way, it was a fantastic victory.
Certainly seem to appreciate the extra distance, and we'll get further again for this start. So let's take a look at the replay at last start.
To go, Stage Girl led them as they'd balanced up from It's Not Trading. Black Vice keep them on. Quickly, Gold Invader switching to the inside for Pike runs on. Followed further back, Kieran Delight, and then came O'Reilly's Crumpet down by the 200 though. On the outside, O'Reilly's Crumpet really lengthening stride. Races up with Kieran Delight, Gold Invader. They're coming away at the 50. On the outside, it's O'Reilly's Crumpet doing better than Kieran Delight, and O'Reilly's Crumpet
really came of age there, O'Reilly's Crumpet. That second up improvement was evident. It just won with ease. And you'd like to think that that can further progress here up to the distance, but doesn't have that experience over the 2,100 metres like some others do.
What about the stablemate that you alluded to, Falcon Crest? Thought was very impressive in that last run in the Belmont Classic. Only beaten 4 lengths by Dark Musket. And again, I think it'll improve.
It was a very good run. Look, it stepped up to that level. Certainly didn't embarrass itself. Was only beaten by 4 lengths in the end. Has drawn a bit awkwardly here, and that's where I'm a bit thrown off with Joe Party riding O'Reilly's Crumpet, and I'd love to know what his decision-making was.
Number 5, our mate Al has drawn nicely with this Jason White into ride. You look at the form lines behind Military Service and now Drive West, which won on Saturday at Belmont Park as well. With the 57.5 kilos, this horse looks as though it's going to be very hard to beat.
Yeah, I think we made the comment leading up to the weekend about how it is maybe sucking us in a little bit, this galloper, because it's just not getting the job done, but the runs are so outstanding. But you look at the form lines behind those Saturday older horses like Drive West, it really has to honour a selection here.
Let's take a look at the selections then for race number 2, and I'm going to be tipping number 5, Our Mate Hour, from number 3, Falcon Crest, number 4, O'Reilly's Crumpet, and number 1, Unconventional. 5, 3, 4, 1.
I have the same top 4 as you, with number 5, Our Mate Hour on top, from number 4, O'Reilly's Crumpet, 3, Falcon Crest, and number 1, Unconventional.
Race number 3 at Belmont Park. It is Perth race number 6 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1,650 metres, and I found this quite an intriguing race, Ian. We have a look at Galaxy Sun, which was winner last start and broke the hands of the Street Bandit supporters, which I now see has Twitter as well, so well done to Street Bandit with a huge following. But then horses like Hell to the Painter and Cougar Express, and even Excellently Coming from Saturday, which just throwing a little twist to the race.
Yeah, this race is very difficult. I ultimately went with the Saturday form through the horses like Penthouse Pet, Held to the Painter, Cougar Express, and Excellently, but Galaxy Sun was a fantastic winner last start, and yeah, as you mentioned, broke the heart of Street Bandit.
Let's have a look at those closing stages now. Apologise for all the Street Bandit fans.
On straightening, led 400 to go by 3 lengths to Gone Diggin' and 6th Legion. Who's to blame? It's switching back now, finds the cutaway. GPS Street Bandit behind those and Galaxy Sun, but it's Paris of Troy still clear with 200 left to go from Who's to Blame, getting home well. So Street Bandit, Paris of Troy's in front. Street Bandit, here's Galaxy Sun though. Galaxy Sun on the outside of Street Bandit. They went together. And Galaxy Sun, Street Bandit.
Brilliant victory there by Galaxy Sun. Just a couple of positives leading into that race, though. The blinkers went on, William Pike got on, and that speed was just nuclear in the end, which really brought the back markers into the race. But conversely, Paris of Troy was in that race, which bolted in on the weekend. So I'm a bit torn between those form lines because ultimately Street Bandit started favourite in that race. And that was more indicative, I think, of the quality of the race overall.
You talked about how the speed helped Galaxy Sun. I'm expecting a little bit in this race, especially with the likes of Cougar Express, with Clint Johnston-Porter to ride as well. Just the 56.5 kilos now.
Yeah, I think it is a great chance. It won second up last campaign very nicely at York and then came out and won a Saturday race. So if it gets anywhere near that type of form, then it'll be ultra hard to beat. The same you can say about the 3 Excellently. Finished a length and a half behind Ackett Asset first up, which means it was only a length and a half from Wink and a Nod, or a length from Wink and a Nod. And carrying not too much of an impediment with weight at 57 kilograms.
I thought one of the horses with the best form going into the race was number 11, Penthouse Pet. Jeff Noski trained Shelby Botel to ride, so just the 51 kilos, beaten under 2 lengths by Star Bay and also Dancing Express, and then a winner 2 starts ago. I'm
loving this Jeff Noski stable at the moment. They are getting everything done, and with a great barrier here, career low weight down to the 51 kilograms, and great form at the moment. I'm happy to go with this because I think we get the run of the race.
Well, let's take a look at the selections then, and I'm going to be tipping at number 6, Galaxy Sun, from number 11, Penthouse Pet, number 2, Cougar Express, and number 10, Street Bandit, 6, 11, 2, 10.
Number 11, Penthouse Pet on top from 3, Excellently, from number 1, Hell to the Painter, and number 2, Cougar Express.
Race number 4 at Belmont Park. It is Perth race number 8 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1,200 metres, and an interesting lineup. Cut the Nonsense, been one that's been just nagging away but hasn't won now for 5 starts, and then we just saw how valuable William Pike was last start when he was able to lift Prophet Street over the line for a win.
Yeah, look, the money followed. We thought it was a fairly even race, but it started at such a short quote, and we were standing together watching that race, a bit perplexed by the confidence, but it was spot on. It was a brilliant ride by William Pike.
It really was. The money was right as well, and now the extra 200 metres looks ideal. Let's take a look at the win last start of Prophet Street.
Stadbert has been no better in running, and now getting that inside run at the cutaway. Red Paddy, followed by King Cool. Prophet Street winding up down the middle, and Forget I's a Maori boy. Vonus got its head in front of Ruby Can, run a length and a half to travel, and Red Paddy over towards the inside. Prophet Street, it's starting to gun them down now. Here comes Prophet Street, Ruby Can Run and Vonus. Pike lifting Prophet Street from Ruby Can Run. He dived on the outside.
Yeah, picked up in those final stages. It was a great finish and a great ride by William Pike. Timed it to perfection. Comes in with a career record weight just from the 5 starts. But from that favourable barrier, should be right in this.
What about number 8, Cut the Nonsense? Obviously, they've been trying a few different things to stable. They haven't had the best of luck at times as well. But the horse is still there. It's still being honest as well. So I feel like when the race goes right, this horse may bolt in.
Yeah, look, I completely agree. I still think they should be trying to race it on speed. It's just getting a bit lost back in the field. But last start was excellent. The previous start was beaten by Woolly Bar and was a bit unlucky, and Woolly Bar beat a really nice field on Saturday. So looking at those form lines, they look fairly strong.
Number 10, 29 Black for Trevor Andrews. Joseph has a party to ride. It was a really good run behind Rule to Win at first up. Still has a claim as well, so just the 54.5 kilos. And drawn in barrier 2, this horse is going to have plenty of options, and the cutaway will be there as well if they want to use it.
Yeah, this is my on-top selection. I just think I found it very hard to split the 5 Prophet Street and the 8 Cut the Nonsense. When you look at 29 Black, that was on debut. It will come into this second up run. There's development to come and a great barrier, low weight. I think it'll go close to winning this.
I thought it was a race between those three, certainly, and that's the way my selections are going to go. I'm tipping number 8, Cut the Nonsense, from number 5, Prophet Street, number 10, 29 Black, and throwing in number 7, Detectorous Lad, at 8, 5, 10, 7.
On 10, 29 Black on top from number 8, Cut the Nonsense, 5 Prophet Street, number 2, Times Are Changing for a bit of value.